Just tell me, how would this propellant, this petrol, let's assume it was petrol, have gotten into the cell?
Honourable Member, we don't know.
You don't know?
We detected that and we alerted the police to that.
And where would the matches, the lighter, the whatever it is that sets the light come from?
I don't know.
You don't know. And you've done nothing to find out? Cell 35 has been traversed quite thoroughly by my colleagues. But you'll agree with me that it's a massive confluence of coincidences that Bester was moved there on that particular date, to that particular cell. Right in the corner, where unless you're really paying attention, you will not see somebody walking up and down there. Because we looked, we did an experiment. And we saw the person because we were watching him. If the controller is not paying 100% attention, maybe blowing her nose or whatever, we wouldn't have seen it. Because it's the only cell that's so far away that you can't see. And not to put too fine a point on it, and no pun intended, it's right next to the fire escape. Can you tell me that that's a coincidence? Are you suggesting that that's a coincidence?
I have no information, Honourable Member, other than to regard that as a coincidence.
Yeah.
What I'm not ruling out is that certain members, together with Mr. Bester, carefully planned this event. I'm not ruling that out, but I have nothing tangible to present to you to say that this is anything other than a coincidence.
You've been investigating for a year. You've had the benefit of the GIX report, which is an excellent one. You've had the benefit of your interaction with DCS. You've had the benefit of the interaction with the South African police. And you're telling me that a year and a bit later, the best you can say is you don't rule out the possibility that this was a well-planned, monumentally logistical operation. I mean, I have a German Shepherd puppy that can come to that conclusion. There's the arson, the setting alight of whoever the poor individual was in that cell. There's the corpse substitution. Who is that person in the cell? Where did they come from? Did they come from inside the prison? Because then your head count wouldn't have matched. Did they come in from the outside? How? Did they walk in? Were they murdered in the prison? Did they come in dead? You can't answer any of these questions.
We don't know.
You don't know. A year and a bit later, you don't know.
We have provided all information pertaining to the movement of our personnel that evening to the SAPs, and it's for them to investigate based on our information.
You have no responsibilities.
I'm not saying we have no responsibilities.
How many G4S employees were on duty at that facility that night?
I'll ask my colleagues to answer that.
Good.
It was 23, Honourable Member, that was on duty.
23 people had to look the other way.
Honourable Member, the investigation proved that the 3 people that was involved, that was suspended, were there. There was 2 people that was moved by the supervisor in charge, that formed part of his disciplinary offence. In hindsight, we can now realize that they were moved to be out of sight.
And just days prior to this incident, a vehicle made an unauthorized entry into the prison facility, correct?
That's correct.
How come? Why?
That's currently being investigated. We've been notified by the notice that my colleague has referred to during the presentation, which we received on the 28th of February this year.
What precisely did, forgive me, but precisely what did you investigate for the past year, if you didn't know that until February? I mean, what form did your investigation take?
Honourable Member, if I may, I think the timelines here should not be overlooked. The incident, as you pointed out, happened on the 29th of April last year. It became known to the DCS through an affidavit filed by one of our employees in mid-November. This incident was raised for the first time. The DCS made that information available to us for the first time, I believe it was 3.5 months later, on the 28th of February. And it's then that we started to investigate this matter.
So your system is deficient, doesn't pick up there's no checks and balances, doesn't pick up this kind of thing, can go undetected for a year. There could have been many more such entries and exits, who would know? So clearly your system is not foolproof.